Welcome to the Daily HiFi Podcast. We do this every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. My name is Chana. With me, as always, we've got Mr. Joe and Tell and Mr. Aaron from Aaron's Audio Corner. What is up, fellas?
What's up?
What up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, wake up, everybody.
What's going on? Who's in the chat right now?
Well, we've got
Who's in the
Angela.
chat?
Angela's in the house.
Hi there.
Mr. Tim Perry, Victor Boyd in the house. Katie. We got the muscles from Alabama in the house. Yeah, look at him.
Oh, that's not bad. All right.
A little bit of shoulder, a little bit of delt
All right.
going on there for all y'all.
All right. Hey, watch out. You're starting to look like
Oh God, don't. I don't know. Maybe you're not going to say it, but don't say it.
Hey, who was the dude with the huge subs back in the day? He used to do videos. He hasn't done videos in a while.
Oh, I don't know.
Who's that?
He had like some 24s, like big 24s, stereo integrities.
I am not sure.
Always jacked. I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
I don't know. Marv's jacked.
Marv's jacked.
Marv's jacked. Look at him.
That's just the Hulk. There, what's up, Marv? Wendell, what's going on? C-Big Chuck is in the house. Richard, what is going on? True Voice of Reason, what's up? Josh, I guess we haven't really. Did we talk about the show? We did, right? Yeah, we already did.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna look for this guy still. I'm trying
That's
to
right.
look for him.
Last Tuesday, there's a lot going on.
Who is it? Dang, what was this guy's name? Oh, Life of Bliss.
Oh, Life of Biz. I thought
Oh,
that's who you're
He's kinda
talking about.
right there. He looking
Yeah.
like starting to look like Kyle in a second.
yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a very nice
Get
guy.
all jacked.
When will the bass drop?
Yeah.
Drop
If
the
you guys have any questions, always you can just ask them here. We'll star them, and then
Yeah.
if you really, really, really want your question answered, then throw up a super chat, and we'll make sure to answer it. We're gonna try our best anyway, but
We
that's
won't.
always
No.
that's always no. Actually, yeah, forget it.
Yeah,
We're just
you got to
ignore
do a
everything.
super chat if you really want the help from the professionals. Not this guy, but
Mhm.
those guys. You got to do a
I
super.
mean, you're a professional.
I'm a professional, but not at this stuff.
You're a rocket scientist. Come
Yeah,
on.
but not at this stuff. Yeah,
Not-
a little
Yeah.
different.
I got a chance to talk to some professionals.
Yeah, you did.
Oh
Speaking
yeah.
of
JBL
professional.
professional.
So the JBL M2 Professional,
Mm-hmm.
is that what it's called, that we always reference when we're talking about target curves and the research that's been done. And it was funny because Chana, when we were at the show, I had to step out, and you came in. You're talking about magic beans and how it works, and I think you mentioned JBL M2. So it happens the guy who was in charge of I guess that whole thing. I don't know. There's a lot of people involved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
part
worked
of
on
it
part
was
of
too, right?
that's what I got. He worked on it with
Yeah.
everybody there, Sean Olive, Floyd Toole.
Yeah.
Floyd Toole.
Like, it's a team effort. But anyway, you were explaining to him, and then as he was walking out, he's like, "Yeah, by the way, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. What did he say?"
Say, you guys are doing great stuff. They just like left. I'm like,
Yeah. I'm like, "Hey,
Come back. We need more of that.
yeah."
Yeah.
So anyway, I got a chance to talk to him for hour or two this morning over Zoom, talking about how Magic Beans works, and real cool guy. So, and he's local, so I think I might go visit him, and we'll see, talk a little bit more. But it's kind of cool to be able to talk to some of these industry folks, the professionals, right? What is a professional anyway? What do you guys consider a professional? You get paid for something? Does that make you a pro, or what's pro?
That alone doesn't.
I mean, I don't know about that alone.
Yeah, because there's plenty of people. There are a lot of people who make money doing something that have really no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Would you say though that you have to somebody has to be willing to pay you? Is that one of the things, one of the criteria?
I don't know. I think you could be a That's a good question. How do you define professional? Let's ask ChatGPT.
Well, I have looked before.
Have you?
I think part of it is just somebody being willing to pay you. I think that's part of my definition, but I think it has to do with also a level of mastery. You know,
That's the most important thing, right?
a level of mastery that's beyond normal common sense, I guess, or what most people know. I would say if you asked a bunch of questions and you knew more than 90% of the general population, I'd say that puts you into that upper tier.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's tough. I think part of it has to do with how you conduct yourself, right? Do you conduct yourself as a professional?
Yeah.
Do
Well,
you screw people over? That's probably not very professional, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
Aaron.
say that, like, yeah, that's me all the time. Like, engineers, if you want to be a professional engineer, you have to take tests and you have to basically like do job shadowing with other licensed professional engineers before you get a PE license, right? So, like, by that, it's not just that you're getting paid, but you have to pass certain qualifications.
Sure.
This is good, actually. This is a good topic. What
Yeah.
makes you a professional reviewer then?
I mean,
What makes you qualify?
Oh.
Because there's a lot of people who write for magazines, you know, that have been doing it for 30 years. Are they professional?
What makes me a professional are the people who I consider a professional who have referenced my work. How about that?
ooh,
Like Sean Olive and Dr.
very
Toole
good.
and Vance Dickinson.
But what makes them a professional, right? Like
Other people
what
consider them
makes them an
professionals.
authority? Because they
Level of
write for
confusion.
Voice Coil and because
Right.
they worked at Harman. Like what? Like it's all based on things that somebody else has said, right? Okay, we're gonna give you this degree. Now you're official. You're a PhD, so now you're allowed to, you know, bless other people with your expert. You know,
Yeah.
with
At
your
the same time, like, you know, let's if we look at like music and musicians, you take Jimi Hendrix and you take Eddie Van Halen. Those two were not certified guitar players. They weren't session guitarists, but they changed the face of guitar playing because they were not part of the regular thing and they did whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
You know, so would you still consider them, you know, some people would be like, oh, you know, they're not a pro, but like, you know, are they or are they not? Yeah. I like, you know, I'm getting ready to DJ a wedding this weekend, and you saying like, oh, just because they're getting paid, or is it the way they act? I remember last year, in fact, there's this cheaper DJ in the same area that him and his wife got too drunk to where everybody else was not allowed to have any alcohol during the event for the entire summer. And I have like a, you know, I gotta loosen up. I have a red wine to loosen up and connect with the audience. And when I can't, it's so hard. It's so weird. So weird to like not be able to do that. But anyway, I digress. I get paid, I play loud music, and I act in a professional manner, meaning I'm not on the microphone. So some guys get on the microphone and start talking shit about the groom. Oh my gosh. Like it was the weirdest thing. And then they started doing karaoke. Like this is the DJ at somebody's wedding. And like the bride's like asking the bartenders, can somebody shut him up, please? And just have him play music, you know? So professional, you know, it's pretty broad.
Seabig says the certification card I printed.
And that's a good one.
Kind of funny because when I used to do like IT computer service type of work, right? IT work, there are certifications that you can get. I chose not to do them. I just started working on stuff. And at a certain point, I was hiring the students that were coming out of a college where they did teach this stuff. So they were certified, but they were working for me, right? And at a certain point, I hired enough of these guys where the school invited me to come and they gave me like an honorary thing. I'm like, I didn't even pay for this stuff. Now you guys are going to give me this, like, you know, honorary plaque that I'm like, dude, I'm just coming to speak. And my speech was actually, what are you doing? What are you guys doing in here? It was kind of the opposite of what they wanted. I'm like, what are you guys here for? Like, why don't you just go and work on stuff? Like, all the stuff they're teaching you is out of date anyway. So go and work.
Oh my goodness. I bet. Yeah.
So I don't know if they like that, but
if they spend 4 years in IT, like once they get out, everything's new or changed, right?
Yeah. At that time, it was a lot of it was about, you know, there was a big shift between having a lot of software that was run locally versus a lot of cloud-based stuff now. And so they were getting taught all this stuff that was, a little bit irrelevant already. So anyway, it's just an interesting thing to think about, like what makes you a professional reviewer. I think somebody's always looking for somebody else to validate you.
Right.
I don't know that I think I might be guilty of looking for that just because other people are looking for that. I personally don't care.
Interesting. Yeah,
Right.
I've never thought about that. I wouldn't consider myself a professional reviewer. And frankly, I don't know that I consider anybody a professional reviewer. I don't know. I'd have to really chew on that a little bit.
I mean, by some of the things we've said already, it's somebody that gets paid.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To do it. So
I would say I don't think that there's anybody more professional than you when it comes to speaker reviews. Like, doesn't get more professional. No, seriously. Right? Whether you get paid or not, I don't know. Like, all of a sudden, is there somebody who's gonna just say Aaron is the professional reviewer, and then all of a sudden now you're professional? But you've been doing the same things you've been doing for the past few years anyway.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
So Aaron is a professional reviewer. I said it.
Okay, so I'll take it.
I would not consider myself a professional. I would not even consider myself an expert. Right. Because then I'm opening myself up to, now I have to stand on this thing where I'm this expert about whatever.
Just throw it on Aaron. Just throw it on Aaron. He's the expert.
Aaron.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you got any questions about Atmos? Ask Aaron because he's an expert. Yeah, he knows it all. He knows everything about Atmos.
Oh, I love it.
He'll be like, I don't have a clue what you just said. What is Atmos? I think he's misspelled utmost.
Utmost. Hey, we got a super chat. Thank you, Samuel Hooks. He also has a question in here. I have an Emotiva RMC 116 channel only with a Denon A1H be an upgrade or Marantz AV10. I have a Monolith 7x200 and 4 subs. Sure. All right. What are you running? What's your speaker configuration and all that kind of stuff? Joe, do you have you don't have an RMC one?
No. I think a lot of the difference, most of the time has to do with the automatic room correction that's built into it. And then whatever codecs and up mixers it supports.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's really the biggest difference. You've made a video where you use Magic Beans on the Yamaha, which you didn't like initially based on its automatic correction. But because you were able to go in there, you're like, now it doesn't matter. It sounds exactly like my Denon now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But user interface, what are the difference? By the way, thanks for the super chat, Samuel Hooks. Yeah, at a certain point, like, what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for a newer interface? What features are you looking for? You obviously would want it to sound better.
Yeah, I mean, sound. I think somebody was asking me this the other day. Like, should they didn't like the sound of their Dolby Atmos currently, and should they spend an extra $4,000 on a new pre-pro to get will they get a better Atmos sound? I don't know. I don't think so. If you don't like what Atmos is doing, spending more money is not going to help your situation. But back to the question, I don't know if that's going to be an upgrade for you. Go into a Denon or a Marantz. Do you want Oro 3D? Because I don't think the Emotiva does Oro 3D. And my stance on Zone 2 and Zone 3, I think all of them should be.
No 2.1 HDMI.
Oh, yeah, no 2.1 HDMI. So it depends. What features are you looking for? Is there something you need? And if so, then look at those two options.
And if the only difference that you're looking for is, okay, I want an AV10 because I want Dirac. Okay, well, does the RMC one? I don't know about that thing. That's a problem. I don't know about that particular unit. Maybe that one has Dirac. Is that the one with Dirac that finally got implemented? I'm gonna have to look it up. Emotiva. So here's a professional tip. If you don't know, go look it up and find out. Right? A professional will tell you, I don't know. Let me find out for you.
Exactly.
A fake person will pretend to know and possibly give you the wrong answer. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. RMC1. Let's see what's up with this thing. $3,749 right now.
Home theater.
What was that?
That was my
Oh, okay.
I clicked on some. Yeah. Somebody
off for a second. Okay.
Yeah, it did, because it's coming off of my laptop. I had a situation, had to kind of get rid of the PC, and it's not like up and running.
Okay, so it does have Dirac Live.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so it already has Dirac. I don't know. I guess it really comes down to what do you expect to be different
with Dirac?
Yeah, this one has
well, depending on his RMC1 versus the Denon or the Marantz. Like, I think it's just going to be HDMI 2.1 compatibility and whatever codecs you want. I think. Oh, thanks again for another
super chat.
You need more channels?
Dude, we are rolling in it now. I'm rich.
We're professional now. We're officially professional.
Thank you to Samuel, and who was the other gentleman who just was it?
That was just that guy.
Yeah, it was Samuel. Thank you. Yeah, Samuel, thank you. You have made us professionals.
Every super chat, every dollar contributes to our professionalism.
Yeah, exactly. But on a more serious note, it actually pretty much all goes straight toward Tim for the editing and all the hard work that he does.
He's a real pro.
Yeah, Tim busts his butt for us.
Tim's the editor pro. So I don't think you need more channels, man. You already have 16, but you're only using 13. You have 16 channels of processing in the what do you call it? In the Emotiva. So I don't think you need.
I mean, my personal opinion is, get the channels that you have sounding as good as possible. We've joked with Aaron that he's not into Atmos, but I've also said if you have some great speakers, you're gonna have a great experience, right? So instead of getting more and more, but the speakers may be, not as good, maybe think about getting the best possible speakers, getting some room treatment, getting magic beans, wink, wink, doing all the things that you can do to improve the sound. And save yourself the extra $7,000, right? There's a lot you can do with $7,000.
I know.
Yeah.
He says he might want to go to 6 high channels. Okay. Either way, you already have a processor that'll run 16 channels. So I don't know. Bodhi that the RMC is super glitchy. I wouldn't know.
Are you running your subs off of that thing? Because maybe that's one thing you can do is like break out the subs into a mini DSP, so you're not using up your channels. You don't need to use up those channels. Just use a single sub out and get a $250 mini DSP, and then use that. Something like that.
Yep. Van Gool says helps. Might not be best if they don't mix for mid heights. It could be. I put mid heights in there all the time. Put that shit in there.
It says RMC1 has Dirac, but not Dirac bass control. Okay. All right. So again, it depends on whether you're trying to upgrade so that you have, Dirac Live bass control. Maybe that's what you're looking for. Man, that's a lot to spend to get that particular feature. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you get 4 subs, right, and you do the most basic calibration and just sum them all together, you're probably going to have a pretty good experience already.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you have like a bunch of seats and you wanted to make it sound good at all the seats, then bass control can help with that. But adding more subs also helps with that. So
Derek also brings up the point that there's no audio streaming services on the Emotiva. So unless you have all that stuff worked out already, maybe you don't need to upgrade anything.
Get a Wiim.
Paul's chiming in. My guess is if you think you need a processor for better Atmos, in reality, you need room treatment and lots of it. That's also another thing. RMC1 has Dirac, but you already read that. Okay.
Scruff Kingman, thank you for the super chat.
Hey, we're now pros.
Right.
Thank you.
He says, now that you're professionals, this is for your PhDs. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. We made it. We're making it.
That's right.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
What did you just say? Get another what?
Player hating degree. Yeah.
That's my guy right there. Listen, every time I hear that term, I always think of Puff Daddy. So he was always like,
I mean, you always think about Puff Daddy, huh?
well, he
Oh,
always thinks
no.
about me. I think it's more like it.
Oh no.
We're going to a private island together with Puff Daddy. He beat me up in the hallway.
Oh man, that
about
guy's
the
no.
I'm glad you guys know that because I've done that so many times in my life, and people like no idea.
Why is he
Like
throwing
John Cena.
vases at people? Hey, he shouldn't be throwing vases. That's all I'm saying. I
Yeah,
don't care
no,
if you say vases or vases, but you shouldn't be throwing them.
Yeah,
You know,
Just
you
don't
know
throw
what's,
them.
you know
He's
what's
like, take that.
What's interesting is my buddy. My buddy. You met him at the show, Joe. He works at Southern Wines and Spirits, and so he's all his clients are like, "What do I do with all the Ciroc?" He's like, "I don't know, man. Get rid of it. Half price. Get out. Just get it out of there."
yeah.
Anyway,
Samuel, another super chat. Samuel, thank you again.
Samuel.
Thank you.
Samuel's
How
coming
are
in.
4 independent subs on the A1H and AB10? Well, they do have something like stereo bass, or I don't know how much I'm into that. Really, my personal opinion is use a mini DSP and learn REW and get the most out of your subs that way. It's an inexpensive way to do it. I don't know that I'd spend that much more to get an AVR just to do that. Now, if it's a side grade, I have the HTP1. I like that thing a lot. Has Dirac Live bass control, and it's about the same price as your current one. So if you could possibly sell yours, get something like that, I could personally recommend it because I like that thing a lot. I like it. So that's that. Maybe that's the way. Have you thought about the Monolith HTP1? Especially when it goes on sale, you may be able to sell yours and have to spend very little to get something else that may be more reliable or whatever reasons that you have. 16 channels is a lot, though.
yeah, 16 speakers is a lot.
What else? What else we got? Other question. I just tested out the new room correction in the Wiim.
Yeah.
So it was only on the Wiim Pro streamer. I have the Wiim amp. Yeah, that's what I learned. That's the way you're supposed to say it. Wiim.
Oh,
not okay. Wiim. It's a Wiim.
Whatever, dude. It's Wiim.
It sounds funny. It sounds like Winamp, right? Like Winamp.
Winamp.
Oh, Winamp. Oh,
Winamp Pro.
Yeah.
Really, what is it? What did they say? Really whips the llama's ass or something?
I never knew what that stood for.
What?
You don't know what I'm talking about.
That?
You guys don't know what I'm talking about.
But I remember seeing. I always thought it was a camel.
Winamp. Really whips the llama's ass. No?
I don't know.
Did you guys not use Winamp? Winamp?
I don't know this thing.
Winamp.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what Winamp is? Am I that old?
No, dude, we know what Winamp is.
Okay. Do you remember there was a song, there was a track that would automatically play when you install it?
I probably had it.
No, I never listened to that. I just played my stuff.
Chana was remixing. He's like,
oh man.
And he was like,
See, Reverend Slim knows. Where is he? And the llama's ass. See? So anyway, it has the new version has room correction that only works on iOS because they have microphones that are kind of consistent from one device to the other, versus on an Android device, who knows? There's a million different ones. So you have to use an iOS device. I thought it was kind of interesting, the fact that it has room correction. The thing is that it only plays a single test tone, which means that it's doing left and right and sub or whatever you have connected all at once. So it's not individual. Right? And they give you 3 options. They give you an option for, let's see, Harman, right, as a target curve. I'm surprised they're allowed to use that. I wouldn't be surprised if that was changed. Right? So Harman target, and then BNK target, and then flat. Right? And then they give you options to limit the range of correction. And you know, I guess it's cool. I don't want to say too much bad about it because I want to work with them, and I want them to put magic beans on that thing. Let's just say I have magic beans. I think it does a better job. But
I just had that old hip hop song in my head.
Throw
some beans on that bitch.
You talking about Rich Boy? Throw some D's on it? Yeah.
Throw some beans on that.
Oh, throw some beans.
Yeah. So Josh says it's better than nothing. And I would say it's tricky, man. Is it better than nothing?
What's that?
Is it better to have a room correction? Say if you have some pretty good speakers, you got the Wiim streamer and decent amps, right? And it changes the response of those speakers so that they're less accurate. Is that better?
I don't think so.
I mean, we were doing the exact test, right? At the show. Correction with Magic Beans, with no DSP at all, and then with Odyssey. And we just let people switch between them. I'm like, here's the remote, play what you want, tell me which one you like, and that's it. And almost everybody, nobody picked Odyssey over no DSP, right? Because the Arendals are already pretty good, right? Nobody chose Odyssey over that. So for those particular speakers, I mean, most people liked it without any DSP at all. So is it better? Better than nothing? I don't know. I would argue that it depends. If you have some horrible speakers, maybe. But yeah. And by the way, everybody chose Magic Beans over no DSP.
Joe, so biased.
Good.
Hey, I gave them the remote. I just said, hey, they could have chosen something else, right? Oh, that thing is cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to show it right off the bat. I was waiting.
That is cool.
Yeah. But that's the
Lin amp.
Like somebody,
bro. I would rock that.
Like
right
a DIY thing, man.
I would totally rock that.
Pi. Like it's awesome, dude. I didn't know. So yeah, this is a touchscreen. That's cool.
Wow.
Like, they even got Phil Collins showing. That's why I like this. And you push the EQ button.
That thing was great. It showed you everything that you needed to know right there. It showed you the playlist of all the stuff that was coming up.
Yep.
Look at that.
Look at the bit rate.
Yeah.
EQ. And then if you wanted to, back in the day, if you were, smoking a little something, then you could turn on the visualizer. Remember?
Oh, the visualizer. I remember the visualizer.
Visualizer.
Something back then.
Trip out on it.
I was early to this party.
Throw some D's on that. Just bought a Cadillac. Throw some D's on that. Just rich boys selling crack. I'm not going to finish the rest.
So anyway, yes, with the Wiim Pro Plus, what is it? Pro Plus Streamer has room correction. If you have an iOS device, I noticed that the Wiim amp doesn't have it yet. So something to look forward to, and you guys can try it out and see what you think. But I would like to talk to some of those guys to implement a better way of doing things.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
And yeah, we'll see what happens. I ordered some Polk XT20s. So this is the next topic. Next topic. I ordered Polk XT20s. I don't typically buy speakers. I just have so many. There's no need for me to buy any speakers, but I was curious about it because it's something that you reviewed a long time ago, Aaron, but with a bunch of other speakers. Like you reviewed the whole line, and so you had your Best Buy shirt.
I ordered a Best Buy shirt off of eBay. Yeah, I remember that.
And you went through all of them, right? You kind of just went, okay, XT15, XT20, the center channel, XT30, boom, 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 tower speakers. Right. You kind of went down the line. It was a lot for a single video. Yeah. But to me, there was like a little hidden gem in there in the XT20s.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like a hidden gem. And so I was looking at spinorama.org. If you guys haven't been to Pierre's website, that thing is pretty cool. It takes a lot of the data a lot of stuff from Aaron and Amir and Audioholics and various sites, and then it ranks the I guess how what does he call it?
Reference score?
No, hold on a second. Spinorama.org. Let me just go to the site and show you guys. This is a cool site. I love this site. I go to this all the time. So this is the site, and then you can see a bunch of measurements of various speakers.
Yeah.
And then if I go to, let's say, ranking, I can sort this by measurement quality. If I put high, then it's only pretty much like yours and Amir's and whatever's been done on a Clipple.
Yeah.
Or anechoic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So high, medium, low.
That's cool. Ranked. Look whose name is up there at the top.
Look at who's ranked. Aaron.
Look who's number one in the listing. I don't even know what ranking. How that's ranked.
Dude, you made it. You're number one.
It's pretty awesome. Like you can start, organizing things. This is one that I'm interested in. Did you see this one?
Oh yeah, the DIY one. Yeah, I was keeping up with that on the DIY audio group.
Dang, the directivity on that thing.
Yeah, that's a really good
beast for a inexpensive
speaker.
speaker.
Really good.
Did you explain to everybody why you got that speaker?
Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. So
hey, we just swapped roles right there because that's usually the opposite. I'm all
dude.
And you're like,
let's take my meds, bro. I'm all over the place. So here, XT20 from Aaron's Audio Corner. Yeah. Now, what do most people look at? They're looking at the on-axis response. They're like, ugh, what is happening here? Baffle step. Oh, it's a little bit jagged. Probably some resonance, tweeter level, like old school polk style, right?
Big old boost at 10K.
That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this green line right here.
Yeah.
Because all I care about, right? I have a calibration app. I care about how EQable this thing is and what it will sound like when we apply EQ. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, there are lots of much more expensive speakers that don't have directivity as smooth as that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know what Joe's doing. Joe's preparing for the next trade show where he's like, I'm going to bring some shitty speakers with good directivity.
I'm bringing the worst. Well, I'm not the worst, but the least expensive ones out of the whole thing. That's what I want to do. But
we're going to have like the cheapest room.
Yeah, the cool thing is he shows what happens when you apply EQ to this, and you can compare it. So this is with EQ here on the right, and on axis looking good, right?
Yeah.
And then he also shows the predicted in-room response. Pretty good. These are $239 a pair.
Yep.
So you combine this with a Wiim amp, apply the EQ. I think you got a pretty nice little system there. Add a sub when you can. Woo! I don't know. What do you see here? What do you're the expert. You're the professional.
You're the pro.
I'm just a dude.
Man.
That was coming.
We're all professionals now. Remember, we've been paid. It's official.
So, is there anything aside from the the resonance? Anything else that you remember about it that could make it like, yeah, that's all good, but
it's been so long, I really don't remember at this point. I was trying to go back and look at my video to see if I had any kind of little comments or anything like that on it.
EQ'd graphs. This is what I care about. Like, well, how does it take to EQ? Man. So I look at those things. There's another one that I do have.
Hey, I made a video about budget stereo systems under $1,000, and I used the Wiim amp, and I used the Polk XT20.
No way.
Yeah.
He's already on top of it. I guess I don't have to make the video.
Do it anyway.
I am a professional.
I told you. I'm a professional.
I'm a professional speaker reviewer.
There's another one though. The other speaker that I think would be really good for EQ, and you've mentioned it too, is the Monolith Encore C6 center. Put vertically.
Yeah,
I got that. When you put that vertically, right? Don't use it like the typical way.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll bring that one up too, just so you guys can see.
Thinking, hey Joe, I could do that for like my surrounds, couldn't I?
Just get all around
and surround back
and
for those.
I should get this before they sell out because. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, they've been selling out on.
That's it. $250.
Right. So here it is. $250. Which one should I look at if I want to see it standing up? Vertical or horizontal?
Vertical.
Vertical. Okay, so
I think I measured it laying down.
I don't know. I think he's showing different because hold on, let me show you real quick the other one. Horizontal. That's what I was looking at. I'm like, that looks pretty good. If you put it
yeah.
What is this? The other way looks like.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I got you now. I was thinking backwards. Yeah. So I sent him the horizontal. Right. So, but if you stand it up, right, so it'll be better that way.
So this is what I always say is like people mostly look at this on-axis response, right? And they should. If you're not going to apply any EQ, then yeah, that's important. But if you will be applying EQ, I care more about the directivity and how EQable this is. So once this is EQ'd, you can expect something like this. Let me see. And this is the predicted in-room response. I think this is a good one for this doesn't look that good though. Hold on. This on-axis doesn't look so hot. You see this other one. Which one did I click on?
I don't know.
Did I click on? I forget which one I clicked on now. EQ'd graphs.
Just do both.
No.
Yeah, go back.
Anyway. Vertical.
Throw some G's on that graph.
Yeah, no, not this one. I think, yeah, that looks all right. I think the Polk. I think the Polk is the way. But I was just looking for different speakers. Like, what is the cheapest speaker you could get that you could EQ and make it sound better? I'm wondering if you plug the port, would that make it even better?
For the Polk, I don't remember if it has a high Q resonance or not. So you'd look for two things. You'd look for a big bump on the bass region. You might look for a resonance in the mid range. If I had the polar data for it, you could look at 180 degrees and see if there's a big spike at 180, like at the back of the speaker where the port is.
You did show that. It showed like a little bit of red in the back.
Okay.
Where
yeah,
the port
it's probably got a resonance or something. I mean, it's. I don't know if it's from the port or from the enclosure leaking out the port, but yeah, if it shows red on the back of it, then there is a resonance.
Yeah, but, I wonder if plugging the port would help on that particular speaker.
It might. It's hard to say for sure, but it might. The downside, well, I can go look at my data and just kind of give you a better idea.
Yeah.
Like talk about other stuff.
Hold on a second. Let's see. Polk XT.
I don't know.
It's better if you bring it up because then you can kind of scroll through at your pace.
Yeah, I'll throw the thing up.
Richard, I see your super chat. We will get to your question about the Myers.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the low end, right? And if I thought that there was a port issue or that stuffing the port would help, usually what you're going to see is like a bass peak right there. It's going to be like a high Q or mid Q resonance. Q would be like the width, like how wide is that resonance? And if you've ever built a subwoofer in an enclosure design program, then you know what I'm talking about. You get a Q of 1 and you get a spike, you get a Q of 2, you get like a super sharp spike.
Right.
0.7 is a little bit more neutral. 0.5 is more rolled off. 0.3 is even more rolled off and extends even further. So I would say just based on the low end response that I don't know that I would plug the port. But then you also have to look in the mid range. And so there's this resonance here and there is this here. I can't say for sure that this right here is a resonance because it looks like it could just be baffle step as well, right? Like they didn't do a good job of baffle step compensation. And she's got like a drop off to the mid range. But regardless, you can EQ that out. So yeah, I don't know. My gut is telling me to leave it open.
Okay, so could there be cabinet resonance that comes through the port though?
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you scroll down to, I think you have some with your polar plots and stuff like that.
Let me go find it.
And who better to ask than the expert, the professional
himself? Pro.
Yeah, then the pro.
Officially, you're. That's hilarious.
He's making stuff up. Yeah. So what you're talking about it. So for those who don't know, what this is like if you're looking at a bird's eye view of the speaker, and this will be the front at 0 degrees. So this is where the tweeter is and the mid range is, and the sound's projecting forward out of the speaker. And then this is the back of the speaker. And the reason that all of this is darker and this is brighter, more red, because this is higher SPL
Hmm.
and this is lower SPL.
Lower
You can see this graphic, this dark
Right.
blue, 66 decibels,
63.
63 decibels in the back of the speaker versus 93 and 90 toward the front,
Right.
right? So when you see red that peaks up just around the back, usually that's an indication that there is a resonance and it's right around 800 hertz. And that can be caused by one of two things. It could be either there's a resonance in the port itself, or
Oh,
there is a resonance in the enclosure itself. And that resonance in the enclosure is basically just leaking out the back of the speaker through that port. The only way that you would know, there's two ways that you could test this pretty reliably, is plug the port and measure it. And then you could also do an impedance sweep where you measure it with and without the port sealed or not. And a quick impedance sweep will usually show a resonance going away.
mhm.
I mean, that takes like seconds, and you can use that with a Dayton DATS. It costs like $130. Dayton DATS is the best tool in the world for anybody who's wanting to play around with speakers. Stop sharing.
So while we're on this is that speaker that I was talking about. It's a DIY speaker,
Yeah.
and not expensive stuff.
Yeah,
looking at it, just like looking at it. Okay, I see a waveguide.
Yep.
It looks like a very shallow waveguide. I'm used to seeing a waveguide that looks like the entire thing is about the size of the speaker, the other mid-range driver.
Yeah.
But this one does not have that. But the measurements, they look pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I think so
dang.
too. So going back to that waveguide, to me, I would say that that's for a bookshelf speaker of that size. I would say that that's probably closer to a deeper waveguide. And I compare that to something like if you remember the Jamo speakers, their waveguides aren't really even waveguides. It's just like a little bevel almost.
Did I say shallow? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. I what I meant was that it's not as large.
I got you.
So yeah,
that one's probably more directional.
Directional.
What's if you go down to his beam width measurements, scroll down a little bit, I'd be surprised if it's more than like plus or minus 50.
because like the opposite, or what I was talking about, let's say the Bucart speaker.
Yeah,
Where the entire waveguide is like the size of this whole thing. So
yeah, so the Bucart is probably almost as deep as that. I mean, it might be even deeper, but it's much more gradual, right? Is what you're saying. So with the Bucart, it probably has maybe wider dispersion, or maybe wider dispersion through higher frequencies. Yeah, so Amir's saying that's about plus or minus 60. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I would have thought maybe 50, but it's a 6.5 inch, I guess. So maybe that makes sense to me.
Oh, he doesn't do the same.
But he
polar
doesn't do
spot,
the
huh?
same thing I
Okay.
do. But that's fine. But it
Man,
narrows, which is kind
you
of
can make
interesting.
this thing, and that's pretty inexpensive. It has the whole part list here. That's the kind of stuff that excites me, right?
Yeah,
Like that looks like a very good measuring speaker that I can just look at it and say that, yeah, that probably sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, interesting speaker. Maybe are you ever planning on reviewing something like that, or is it too?
I reviewed DIY speakers. I would, if that gentleman had reached out to me, I probably would have reviewed it. But I've reviewed a lot of like the DIY sound group design. I reviewed, and I actually had one of the designers on my channel to talk about it. He designed that big 1099. I don't know if anybody's into DIY sound group speakers, but yeah.
Super chat from Richard.
Hey,
thank you for the super chat. You know
Thank you,
him?
Richard.
You know Richard?
I do not, but I'm saying
Okay.
Thank you anyway.
But Richard asks, are there Meyer Atmos speakers? Shauna, are there Meyer Atmos speakers?
I mean, I don't think so specifically, but their smallest ones, I guess, would be the X20 compact wide coverage, and they're only 6,000 a piece. So you just
What do you mean only? What are you talking about only?
That's how you know.
Don't make people feel bad. It's
How these
only.
hi-fi guys act. Oh, it's only. Yeah, no, it's expensive as shit.
He totally just flipped it the opposite way on that one.
Yeah, no, this is fucking some expensive stuff. This is their smallest speaker, from what I understand. Unless you were trying to go to the and these are like, what do you call it? XLR input only. Unless I guess these are PA speakers essentially. So if you wanted something for home, Joe, these are pretty small, right? Like
they were, but they were attached to a big old bass driver on the bottom.
Yeah. They have the Meyer Sound studio monitors. Those are a little less expensive. Studio monitors, a little less expensive.
So these things, when we talk about expensive and inexpensive, it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
It's inexpensive relative to some hi-fi speakers, expensive relative to Sonos.
So 4,000 each, self-powered. I mean, if there's an amp in there, it's still pretty pricey. We heard this setup here, this $18,000 one.
That sounded so good.
They sounded pretty insane. And then we heard that in conjunction with those tops, in conjunction with this guy here. They're 21-inch. Look, it doesn't even have the price.
Yeah, you know what that means.
It's too much for me. So, no specific Atmos speaker from Meyer Sound specifically. Yeah. I've been sitting on something for a while.
That sounds painful.
Other than my chair, I found a great use for Zone 2.
No way.
Oh, I totally forgot I had this in my bag, right? I'm like Eminem. I'm about to reach in my grab, bro. Right? Here we go. Where is it? Ready? Boom. You want a little VU meter
back
for your 2-channel? You got a little $100. Boom. You get a little VU meter. You can choose your colors. It works on 19 colors, 5 speeds, 11 modes. I don't know about all that voice control bullshit, but you just plug it in via RCA, and you got a little VU meter.
Didn't you review a VU meter, Aaron? Was that high level? Is that from speakers, or can it work with RCA?
Yeah.
Because that would be a good use.
Yeah.
Speaker.
Yeah, it was fuzzy.
And then
that's actually a smart way to do it, right? RCA out, so it's not really affecting anything.
Yep.
Into a VU meter thing.
Yeah,
and that's it. Would that work? I mean, just to see something moving. We're not measuring the wattage, right? We're just seeing some activity.
I mean, look at this video.
I mean, that's cool.
Look.
Okay.
Those are coming back.
Hey, look at this one. This one's the actual equalizer. Look at this one.
Oh, graphic equalizer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, all right. That's $160. That's not too bad.
So I don't know where you would put this in the chain, though. Because this is you would still have to go RCA.
Yeah, and doesn't mess with the signal at all. Like other than the EQ, right? Does it degrade the signal going to your speakers?
Right.
Some people may not even care at all.
You've got 15-band asynchronous adjustment, right? DSP processing, Joe. I thought you might like that.
All right.
Built-in sound pickup. It's got a little mic on the back, I guess.
I guess that's how it works, right?
I found this like a couple of months ago. And look at that. That's both of the units right there.
We're talking about a visualizer. There it is. There's a visualizer.
Yeah, there's your Winamp.
There you go. And if you want to, maybe you're not so good at dancing and you don't know when to move, just look towards the left. When that goes up, that's when you should probably move. You know what I mean?
Boom,
There's a visual representation.
Yeah. So you can use, if you really don't if you don't really want to use the EQ, you could just put this on Zone 2, and then you could just have something to look at.
Put it on what?
Zone 2.
I like it.
What's a Zone 2, man?
I like it.
I thought you didn't.
Yeah, I found this months ago. I've been sitting on it for the right time since I didn't have a topic for today. Oh, whoa! What is that? It's doing some what?
The Matrix.
It is raining upside down.
This. You guys want the link for this? I'll drop the link in the chat. Oh, look at that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice little stocking stuffer. Right?
I like it.
$bucks or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Where did it go? How do I get out of this? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. I'll toss this into the chat here, guys. All right. EQ.
Beefy says the Techno Moan channel does excellent reviews of these things. Why Techno Moan? I think I've seen that channel.
Tech Moan.
Tech Moan. Sorry.
Maybe he just doesn't like tech anymore, so he's moaning.
Tech Moan.
Tech Moan. 1.36 million subscribers. This guy.
Oh, that's it. He's not a professional.
Yeah. Once you reach certain level.
Yeah, you become an unprofessional.
You have to in order to get that number.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably do.
You gotta be doing some. We're joking, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know this. He could be completely on the up and up, but I don't know. We're joking.
Decibel.
I don't know this man.
Decibel audio or decibel. What is this called? Decibel vibe. Decibel vibe.
It's a vibe, bro.
It's a vibe, bro. The vibe.
Hey, do you think if you just started chilling stuff out, you think that you could your channel would just blow up?
Yeah.
At some point. Yeah. Of course.
No, I'm saying like I know it
was
would.
fast.
I know it would. Because I was actually thinking about that earlier. I can't remember what it was, but my brain started, my brain is like, I gotta think about everything at one time. But I started thinking about that earlier. Yeah.
You know what I think? I think that you may find that it's also difficult. That it's, even though like, yeah, it's not something that I would want to do. I think if you went down that path, you'd find like, this is still work. You still got to reach out to these people. Like there's still something to it. I'm not saying it's super hard.
Oh, right? This Tech Moan guy's got a different version of that.
But yeah, it might just be you might find like, oh, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. You got to try to sleep well at night. All these things.
Yeah, who needs that?
Might be difficult, Yeah, no,
I mean,
when you got money, you can just buy.
Medication. You can just buy sleep.
You can buy mirrors that don't like look at you, but they look past you. Where's my green screen? I need my green screen right now so I can do my Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, don't be so negative, Joe.
No, I'm not being negative. I'm being positive. I'm saying, hey, if you need to fake it, and maybe some people don't mind. Maybe that's what they want to hear. Maybe if you want to lip sync on your concerts, maybe that's a thing that people don't mind.
Did we even get to that, or is that your
segment? No, that's what you mentioned. I just tried to transition smoothly like a professional.
I like that segue. Yeah. So here's a question for everybody watching: would you be okay going to a concert and them lip syncing the songs as long as they put on a good show? That's basically what this boils down to, right? And the reason for the question is because somebody at my work was telling me today that he watched a video or 2 or 3 or whatever about the Eagles and how when they're supposed to be harmonizing and singing their songs, they're not actually singing. Somebody took a video recorder in there, recording. Look at you, look, flex, bro. Look at you. Look, Gene's probably watching this. He's like, I got bigger muscles than those guys. Whatever, Gene. Whatever, Gene. I'll body slam you, Gene. I'm gonna get James Larson to body slam you, Gene.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Gene. All right. Anyway, I'm just kidding, Gene. What was I saying? Oh, so that got us talking about, would you be okay with going to a show where, let's be real, some of these artists are way past their prime, but they're putting on a good show. Maybe they're not actually singing the stuff, but they're putting on a good show. Because I've watched some of these guys and I'm like, oh, this sounds terrible, right? Like, I'd rather just listen to the CD or the tape or whatever and remember it as it was rather than listening to this. I don't need to hear them sing it live. I'd be cool with it.
Yeah.
Unless it's acoustic. If I went to a show that was supposed to be an acoustic set, then that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well,
don't know, man.
Here, if it's, I would kind of be pissed. I would be pissed.
Okay.
If I'm paying, like, okay, the concert experience and going to a big concert where there's a whole lot of people, dude, you got parking, you got food, you got the tickets themselves, then the time you're investing, then getting home after the concert's done, especially in a place like Staples Center or whatever it's called, Crypto Arena or something like that, dude.
Yeah.
I remember going to see Dave Matthews Band at Staples Center back in the day. Like, dude, that was a lot. It was a lot. Even I used to be part of the Hollywood Bowl. They would call me in like February and be like, "Hey, Chana, we have all of these concerts. We've got super seats available. We got boxes available." You know, I saw Beck, I saw the Crystal Method, like all this cool stuff. You know, and a little Vivaldi too, right? But dude, it's a chore. It's a chore. And if I'm gonna put in all that time and energy, money to go and see, you guys better be fucking singing. If you're a singer, sing. Sing that shit, doggy. Like, what the? Like, what? I came here to see you watch you sing, not lip sync. What is this, Milli Vanilli? What the fuck?
I want to see some sweating.
I want to see.
Don't care if you don't sing well anymore. You better try, bro. You better try your best. I don't care if it doesn't sound good. You better try.
A lot of people do all these dance moves, and you can
like come to watch you pretend.
Breath, you can hear them like in the singing. Cool. You know what Adele does? She fucking just stands there.
She just stands
and she sings.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it would depend, right? Like if I go see Adele and she's not actually putting on a show, but she's just singing, like cool. Like you better not lip sync.
Dude, I saw Adele when she was like straight up from her first album. She ended up opening up for Shaka Khan at the Hollywood Bowl. And she just stood there, one place, and she has not changed her shit because she doesn't dance, she doesn't do any of that. She just sings because she's a singer. That's it. Good. Done.
How about this? What if the answer is it depends on who you're watching? So if Chana is going to watch Dua Lipa or who's the chicks, you know what I mean? Then he probably does not care. Just depends who the artist is, right?
Yeah.
But if you were talking about the Eagles, are people watching them because like they want to see them move a certain way, or do they want to hear them sing?
I mean, they better be playing some fucking instruments.
Better play at least some instruments,
right. So they were lip syncing when they were harmonizing the vocals. Is that it?
That's what he said. The video showed. I haven't seen it, but just the topic alone was interesting to me.
If they're gonna sue everybody who uses their music, you better lose your voice. I don't care. Lose your voice. Once lost, then use the backing track. If you're gonna be like that, then that's my opinion. They gotta sing. They gotta try to sing.
Oh, Chad AV's chiming in. Even metal bands have backing tracks with the vocals behind them. It's so freaking weak. Majority of bands lip sync nowadays. It's pathetic.
So I went to this hip hop thing a long time ago, and it was like some underground thing. And if I mentioned the dude, nobody would probably know who it was, right? But this is this dude Afu Ra.
No,
right? Nobody knows. Trust me, I don't think anybody knows. But like he had one hit that was like, it's called Whirlwind Through Cities, and I like that track a lot. I went to see him live, and the dude was like super high to the point where like he forgot the whole verse. Like he repeated the same verse again, right? He repeated the same verse, but the whole audience knew the words, and it was funny because the audience got him back on track. So he started saying the wrong verse, and then he heard everybody singing along, and he corrected himself. But that was part of the live thing, right? That was kind of cool that he messed up, but the audience got him back on track. If he was just lip syncing, then it'd be like, nah, what is this?
Yeah.
Is it lip syncing or singing? Sync. Lip syncing. Okay.
Because you're syncing your lips to the track.
Yeah. Justin, if that's the case, it's time to retire from the show. Go engage your fans in a new way. Otherwise, give me a really good cover band like Black Jacket Symphony and listen to something live. High energy bands will sing with vocals covering their winded moments.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I seen I think Mariah Carey does that thing when she's known for hitting those high notes.
Yeah.
And now she's getting a little older. You can tell she can't really do them. So she's like, whenever it comes to the high notes, she does the whole like my earpiece is messing. Hold on a second.
Right.
What? Huh? Is this working? Hello?
Always Pushing says those who went to Kiss went for the show. I always enjoy the songs, but it was a show period. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like Joe was saying, it depends.
That's fair.
Tool 100% is the best live band on the planet. No tracks, 3-piece band, like a fine wine. Oh yeah. I wish I would have seen Tool live. That would have been awesome.
I wish I had gotten to see Rage Against the Machine live.
Oh,
like,
I saw that
when I was younger. I wouldn't want to do it now. And they've broken up again. For like
again.
The 4th or 5th time.
I saw their at Coachella, their reunion.
Yeah,
Coachella.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it now, man. I'm too tired. I'm like, I don't want to deal with all that traffic. I'd have to leave early when they're doing the encore.
There's the there was this meme, like, when I was in college, I was raging against the machine, and now I'm an adult, I'm raging against the washing machine.
About right.
Yeah. I've actually seen a whole lot of acts live because of living in LA. That's, I went to a whole bunch of Coachella. Dude, I got to see Bjork live, Nine Inch Nails, Prince. Whew. Amazing.
Oh, I just remember that one artist that you like, Chana.
Which one?
Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh yeah.
I like. You said I like.
That's the one. We were pretending like we didn't see the thing where she was like doing the bloody nose thing or something.
Oh, the bloody nose thing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or something like that.
She got cut and then she just started smearing it around her face. That was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
Would you watch her thing if she was lip syncing? Would you care?
No, I wouldn't care if she was lip. She just hot.
So it depends on the artist.
Yeah, it depends.
All right.
So what is your take on it, Aaron?
I've already given. I think I'm kind of with Joe. Like it depends on who the artist is. Like if they're old and over the hill, and I don't want to go and listen to them sing like terribly, then I'm cool with them lip syncing or to some degree, right? But if I'm saying like if I took my daughter to see Taylor Swift and I paid about $3 billion to hear her sing, she better sing. It just depends.
Well, how about if they just use like a lower key, like something that they're comfortable singing? I don't mind that.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, they don't have to hit like the highest of the high notes and all of that. I mean, Taylor Swift can't really sing anyway, so
like I don't mind if Paul McCartney is like not hitting the crazy. You're
gonna get canceled, Aaron.
Dude, my daughter's gonna cancel me if she watches this. I've told her. I was like, "Your Taylor Swift can't sing." At some point, she's gonna stop listening to Taylor Swift and she's gonna get into something that's like alternate. We all go through it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had a Taylor Swift face,
dude. Listen, I listen to Madonna all the time, and then I went to Wu-Tang and Rage Against the Machine, and then at some point I wound up back on Madonna, right? So I don't know how I got here. I just know that I'm here, and I really like Def Leppard.
Yeah,
I got a new Def Leppard shirt. It's in the washer right now. I'm excited.
Chad Williams saw Rage Against the Machine the night Zach broke his ankle.
Damn. He must have been pissed.
Bjork was responsible for the single worst movie I've ever seen, Dancer in the Dark.
Isn't that's a song? It's close to it at least. That's a Bruce Springsteen song, Dancing in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
London Grammar? London Grammar is great.
I've never heard of London Grammar, but I have heard of, can you guys guess? Country Grammar?
Country Grammar. I knew it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I knew one of you.
Nelly. Go get your Band-Aid.
I need my Band-Aid.
Chad, hey, I'm totally down. When Tool plays the Sphere in Vegas, hearing second quarter 2025, I'll take you. I'm down, bro. Shoot me an email. We'll make it happen.
All right. We got some not some super chats, but we have some starred stuff too. If you want to get at those.
Joe, you reviewed the Monolith Audition, a T4 Towers.
Have I? I don't even remember. I don't even remember at this point.
I haven't. I don't know if I've seen you have.
I think I may have reviewed the T5 Towers. All I remember is that they were a little bit bright. I mean,
those are the ones that
they were cheap.
We were the same.
I think my consensus, the basically I said you can EQ these, make them less bright, and you have some pretty good cheap speakers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's probably the same for the T4s. If you can get them, man, they're so inexpensive. It's almost like I have a hard time being super judgmental about them. You're gonna get some bass, you know, they sound decent. Apply some EQ and just be happy. You know, get some better speakers later.
Derek says auditions are cheap, encores are good.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Um,
Mosin asks, I purchased a tone winner amp, connected it to my Yamaha AVR. 5 channels run through the amp. I'm considering the tone winner AT300 processor to achieve 9.2.4. What is your opinion?
I think those are the inexpensive ones, right?
Yeah, like $1,000.
How much is the AT300?
What is it called? AT300?
Mhm.
I'm looking it up right now. 1100. Looks like 16 channel pre-pro from Summit
Dang.
Hi-Fi. Let me put it up on screen so everybody can follow along. 1375.
Wow, I think it was less before, wasn't it?
I think it was 1100. Maybe it was 1200. I don't know.
Okay, you know what people hate is when we start judging like products that we haven't really reviewed or tried.
Oh, no, they love
hate
that,
it.
man.
They hate it when you do that. But
It's
this
a good
thing,
price. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I can look at with my eyes and say it's not the best looking. It looks a little bit.
Looks plain.
Looks like Pile could make that. You guys know Pile?
I know.
Yeah.
Pile. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing.
But you know what? I think this is probably using similar internals to the IOTA VX. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Yeah,
it's probably using similar ones to that, and the Emotivo one. I would expect to be using pretty much the same internals. You know, they all kind of came out at the same time with a similar price point.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is 16 channels, right?
Dolby Atmos, DTS:X.
For that price, you're winning.
Yeah.
Already.
Winning.
You know what I mean? The main thing is the room correction is probably not the best, but it has PEQs. You just use parametric EQs, spend your money on Magic Beans, make each speaker sound as good as possible, and just be happy with that. I think I would love to do something like that, like an inexpensive system, and make it sound really good. Like that's kind of my thing, right? What's the cheapest you can go and still have a good, good performance?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. Depends on what you're coming from though. AVR, Yamaha AVR, 5 channels. Yeah, it sounds like an older one. So yeah.
No, he's just running 5 channels through that amp. The tone.
Oh, okay. So I don't know what it. If it's a newer Yamaha, then maybe not. But
there's maybe if he's running Wipeout.
What else? What's next?
Wendell, speaker grill on or off?
Speaker grill on or off depends on the speaker, right?
Yeah.
Ask professional.
Ask the pro.
It depends on the speaker.
How about if it's a? How about if it is a Wharfdale Linton?
Yes, speaker on. Ask the manufacturer. Was it designed to go? Most, I would say, 90% of speakers aren't designed to go with, or shouldn't be listened to with the speaker on because it's going to sound worse. But there are exceptions.
Speaker grill, right?
Yeah, speaker grill. Yeah. But there are exceptions where you need the grill to get the best performance. So something like not something like the Wharfdale Linton benefits from having the speaker grill on because it was designed to be listened to it that way.
How about the source point?
I would probably say no. I don't know.
That's a grill,
especially because where the tweeter is too. Like the tweeter is way back, and then it uses the mid range as a waveguide, and then the baffle is kind of cut out, or the speaker grill is kind of cut out, and it's going to create more diffraction. So I would definitely not do it for that one either.
The other one that also requires the grill is the old LS35A. Those old monitors that they have lots of clones of, I guess. But yeah, those are designed with a grill in mind. Speaking of which, real quick, I just watched a video of Andrew Jones at the show. I guess he had his room and he was kind of showing all his old speakers. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to go check it out because we were busy.
Yeah, when I ran into him at the in the lobby, he was like, I'm like, what are you showing here? He's like, oh, it's this, they're just doing this like retrospective on like me and my life. So I'm just gonna talk about me. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's like, yeah, no speakers. I'm not here with MoFi. The show just had me come by to do this thing. I was like, okay, that's pretty
I thought
cool.
it was pretty cool, man, because he showed like some of his first speakers and then to play like what he heard on those original speakers,
Yep.
some old school quad speakers. And then he showed some other ones that I didn't even know he designed. Like I didn't know he worked with Harman on some Infinity stuff.
No,
You
no
know,
idea.
that's
I think I
news
might
to
have
me.
known that he did that with Tool. He worked with Tool, didn't
Yeah,
he? Yeah, I
man,
remember him saying
he
that.
was working with everybody. But anyway, it's a cool video. I don't remember the channel, but if you just look up Andrew Jones Experience or something like that at the show, you should be able to find it. We have another super chat from our sir, what was it? Richard.
Have you reviewed Theory Audio Designs 5 no.
But I think that Theory owns a Clipple, if I recall correctly. Owns a Clipple near field scanner, and so if they do, then that bodes well for what they're shooting for.
You should get an affiliate. Do you have an affiliate for Clipples? That would be kind of good.
Man, I should do that. Yeah, actually, I spoke with somebody last week who was buying one, and they asked if they could come out here maybe around October and see how it's set up, like kind of learn the ropes about it because he has some questions about it. So yeah, he's like, I'll pay you for your time, and normally I'm like, nah, don't worry about it, just come on. But like here lately, I'm like, yeah, if I'm taking a day, yeah.
I'll take it. I just learned RSL has a Clipple now.
They got a near field scanner?
Yeah. We're talking to the Andrew guy. Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
I think they saw some guy, Aaron's Audio Corner or something like that. And they saw like, oh, that looks pretty useful. We should have one of those.
Honestly, I do wonder sometimes. I mean, I know of a few because they've told me, but I do wonder how many people have bought one because of me and or Amir,
Yeah.
I'm sure that has helped.
Sorry, Warkland.
I know some, but yeah, right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Here, this is it right here. 5.2.2. So it's like a soundbar up front.
What is this? What is this? Oh, the Theory Audio.
Theory Audio, yeah. Yeah. It includes their 85-inch wide soundbar. The system also contains 2 subwoofers with 15-inch drivers. And at first I balked and thinking, yeah. So this is somebody's review about it. I think so. $10,000. Wow.
Shoot.
They're more like a home theater oriented.
They are. Yeah.
Theory subs are $1,500 each, so you get 2 of those. Okay. Yeah, and an amplifier. Okay. So this is a pretty legit setup, I guess.
That thing looks cool.
Yeah. This amp.
Yeah. See, that's something that I don't think Pyle would make,
No, Pyle would definitely not make
that.
No, it's astute observation.
Yeah.
It's got like brackets for mounting and stuff. This looks pretty system price $12,300. Hey, they're here in California. Theory Audio.
Lake Forest, okay.
Yeah, maybe we should get you should get one in for review, Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Maybe. We'll see.
You put that in the bedroom.
Oh yeah. What else we got here? I think we have another one from Chad Williams. Thank you again, Richard, for the super chat.
Yeah.
Sorry we don't have very much experience with the Theory Audio stuff, but maybe in the future.
Maybe.
Oh no, it was. Wait, where is this new one at? It's not another super chat. It's just a starred one.
Oh, okay.
How good are the SVS tower speakers? Those are the KEF R3s. Still hard to say. Somebody needs to get their Clipple up and running.
Verdict's still out. I'm listening to them. If we're talking about the new ones, I'm listening to them. But I don't know. Verdict's still out. I'd say wait.
ask him some questions. Try to get it out of him right now.
Yeah, you can go ahead and I'll just tell you.
I'll just tell you.
You better drop a $15 super chat if you want the.
Okay, I can ask
You want the leaked
a
info.
few specific. Yeah,
I'm not
ask
going
him-
to tell you much. I barely have listened to them. I watched NBA Finals and I listened to some music on them.
Okay, let's just say bass response.
Sounds
Thumbs up?
like it gets quite low, but it does seem like it like below 40 they go. But that could just be the room, right? So I don't know.
Do you have the ones with 8s in them, or
Yeah, the quad.
do you have the biggest one?
Yeah.
Nick emailed.
What is
me.
that one called? Which one's Titan? Is that the middle one?
No, the
I
middle
don't know.
one. Yeah. No,
I don't know which one is which, man. It's
The biggest ones have 8s, right?
Yeah. The 8-inch mid bass, 5-inch mid range. Yeah.
So that's the one they sent you?
Yeah.
And
That's gonna
the
be
bass
fun.
is
It sounds like it rolls off at around 40. I mean, again, it's probably just the room, but we'll see. I'll be curious to see what the measurements show.
I feel like what you consider like rolling off is different than what I consider.
Probably.
Because if I can kind of hear it a little bit, and if it's down, like I'm like, I can hear that. What are you talking about? Like minus 3 dB point or minus 10 dB point?
Well, I'd say below that point, at least in the room, it sounds like it goes off pretty quickly.
Okay.
It starts rolling off quickly.
All right. Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to see your measurements.
Yeah.
You're gonna have any issues putting that on Clipple?
I mean, it's heavy as all get out, but I've already done it once by myself, so I guess I can do it again.
Well, you can hope we hope
Tower,
you can.
Titan, Pinnacle.
Pinnacle.
So you have the Pinnacle.
Titan is the middle.
Pounds. That TAD speaker was 101 pounds, right? And that SVS tower, the biggest SVS tower, I think is 98 pounds. So it just gives you an idea of how freaking stout that TAD speaker is.
It's a tad heavy.
Yeah, it's a tad heavy.
Yeah, I made a bunch of those jokes at the show at the after party.
What do they make it out of? Why is it so heavy?
Dude,
is it super
lead.
cabinet?
I don't know, man. It's
what
gotta be lead.
What do they put in that thing? It's not like those chorus speakers where it's like made out of granite. What is it about these things?
Hey, so Richard,
I don't recall, honestly.
We can go visit the Theory location and hear the system.
Yeah, you should go do that.
That might be an interesting little thing.
Hey,
thank you for the super chat, Otto. Thank you, sir. Any thoughts on the Klipsch THX 8000L in-wall speakers for LCR behind the screen speakers?
There they are.
Also considering KEF THX in-walls. I mean, I haven't measured either. I haven't heard either, but I always see KEF stuff and it always looks legit.
KEF, it's hard to go wrong with KEF. Like at each price category, they seem to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
usually a little more expensive than
which one? What is it? KEF what? KEF THX in wall? KEF THX.
Yeah, I've reviewed one of their THX in walls. I don't remember the model, but it was really good. So I'd say that if it were me and somebody just said,
"You're talking about the
I need you to pick one or the other without hearing either one of them," I'm probably going to say KEF. Then I'm going to go with what I know, based off of their history.
I don't know.
Man, Klipsch is kind of a toss-up because sometimes they may sound somewhat neutral, and other times they may sound super bright. Their whole lineage, it doesn't really seem. They don't have. So people say that Klipsch has a sound. They don't. Their sound is completely different from one model to the next.
Well, I heard they have different designers for their heritage stuff.
Their heritage stuff, yeah,
versus the RP line and all those other ones.
Like even the Forte versus the Heresy 4. The Heresy 4 is probably one of the worst speakers I've ever heard. But the Forte 4 is not fantastic, but it's noticeably better. Like it's a lot better, at least in my opinion. And if you look at the data, I think it kind of backs that up too. So I was really confused by that. I'm like, what are they doing over there?
Well, I mean, if you want to go KEF, man, you can spend some money here. Look at this. $599 or $3,000 or $10,000 per. Damn.
like the directivity on some of this on the RP600M is not that
Not
bad.
bad. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Like a lot of but it's just the weird older designs, I think. Like the heritage stuff, like they're just trying to stick to this particular look. And it's like a big old boxy thing. Whereas yeah, I think their
That's what I'm
RP
saying. Like
is pretty
sometimes
decent.
you may, and out of the box they may sound bright, but you could EQ it down, or you could turn them off axis and kind of help alleviate some of that harshness and the higher frequencies of their RP lines. Um, I don't really dislike their RP lines per se. It's just it's kind of a toss up. Like you really just don't know for sure what you're going to get. Whereas with Kef, they usually will even have white papers out, so you can see, hey, here's the measurement, here's the sound that they're going for, here's the dispersion angles, and you have an idea of what to expect and how to set them up, which is most important.
Look at this fucker. 11,000.
Is that a meta? Oh gosh, yeah. Can you imagine?
Here's
Whew.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that the directivity on these RP600 M2s.
Yeah,
That doesn't. I mean, other than this is obviously not good, right?
I'm okay with that because that's the vertical, right?
Okay, this is all vertical, but
that's
like
the waveguide. Yeah, that's the waveguide to the mid bass, and they're pretty separated by probably 6 or 7 inches.
that doesn't
I'm
look
okay.
horrible though. Other than this
No.
thing and this,
Right.
it doesn't look like anything that I would be upset about. It's EQable, right? And I think if somebody's using it for home theater, maybe that's why people seem to like them. Like, oh, they take pretty well to EQ.
Yeah.
So Otto says all his other speakers are Klipsch RP.
Well,
So should he just go with the Klipsch in walls for this front?
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, I'd say if all your other ones are already Klipsch and you like them, then sure, go ahead. If you were starting from scratch, then I'd probably say I might
Which
go
is
with the Kef.
which is the one that you didn't like? The Klipsch what?
The Heresy 4, worst speaker.
Heresy
One of
4.
the worst speaker. Okay, one of, if not the worst speaker I've ever heard, and it's ridiculously overpriced. It's
Why is
just a
there
big
V1 and
rectangle
V2 of your
with
measurements?
no real bracing. It's just a hollow, empty box that resonates. I mean, it's like you're taking a cup and just blowing into it. I'm like, why are you? What are y'all doing? And then people are upset with me because I didn't like it. But I'm like, it's a garbage speaker. Like,
Why do you have
play on one
V1 and
speaker.
V2 of your measurements? Is there
Oh,
on the
one
speaker?
was before the Clipple and one was after the Clipple.
Okay, so
Oh.
V2. All right.
Yeah, but they're pretty much.
I thought you added feet onto the second one.
Oh, yeah, I did. I hope you choke.
There it is. There's the Heresy 4.
Yeah, look at that thing, man. It's terrible. Like so. That's just garbage. Like no speaker should do that and cost $4,000 or $3,000
For a pair.
It just,
If you want to
and
know
I
how
don't care
EQable
if
something
you
is, it
believe in
shows you here.
measurement or not. A speaker should not measure that way and cost $3,000 or $4,000 a pair. And we shouldn't have. I'm gonna stop. Okay.
So like
Yeah.
this is he shows
Canceled again.
on this website, he shows like what happens if you try to EQ it. Like what's the best sound you could possibly get out of this thing?
That's gonna be fun.
Whoa, so okay, so that's the best with all the EQ you could possibly do. That's what you're gonna get. So
And so,
Yeah,
like,
that's rough.
you can take tonality out of the equation, right? You can say, I don't care what the graphs show. I like certain sound. Okay, cool. It images like dog crap. Like it's terrible because as it's handing off from the mid bass to the mid range or the mid frequency, what is it? It's oh my gosh. Is it a compression driver? I think it is on the mid range. And then to the tweeter, the high frequency compression driver, it's basically like going broad from low frequency, narrows up, broad, narrows up, broad, narrows up. So everything that you hear, if it has any harmonics, it's going to shift in the soundstage. So one sound at 800 hertz may sound far to the right, and then at 1.2K, it's going to jump into the side of inside of the soundstage. So it's just frustrating, man. It's a hot mess.
yeah,
I
that's
think
your
whoever
opinion.
designed that, I'm gonna stop.
That's just your opinion.
It is just my opinion. But
You know what they say?
I was just offended. I was like, how is the speaker so bad? But these morons are being these reviewers are like, you don't need a subwoofer with it. I'm like, you dipshit. It rolls off at 100 hertz. What are you talking about? So
What are they talking about?
Don't need
See,
a
I tried my best to try to figure out what are they talking about. Like,
Dude, I know what they're talking about.
10.
Affiliate sales, Crutchfield, 15%. I sell you one of those, I get 15% on $3,000 or $4,000. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm.
I need a Xanax right now. I'm getting
a Xanax. What's wrong with you, bro?
Have a calm down. Opinion.
Have a Snickers, man.
It's my professional.
You're opinion. A little hangry. Just have a Snickers.
I love.
Oh, this is a nice question. I think that's a fair comparison. What do you think?
With EQ, I'd say
very comparable.
Yeah, with EQ, I'd say the clips for sure. And I think even without EQ, the clips. I don't recall the SVS Ultra bookshelf having as good directivity, even like aside from the measurements, just like how it sounds in terms of sound dispersion and sounding even in the sound field. I seem to recall the clips doing better in that regard. The SVS isn't a bad speaker by a long shot, but just kind of off of memory, it seems like the clips perform better as a whole, but I may be wrong. So that's why I have data for that stuff.
On this website, you can actually compare. So what did we say? Ultra?
Yeah, the Ultra.
Okay, let's use Aaron's audio corner with let's just say with EQ, and then what's the other one? SVS and the
SVS Ultra bookshelf.
Klipsch RP600 M2. Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Okay. Man, his comparison is actually a little bit hard to read, but here you can kind of get an idea of what you can do. Window.
Hey, this Theory audio thing is crazy. There's like
they were at Audio Advice Live the first year, and I think they've been at some of the other shows, but they seem like good people.
So that silver thing is a processor.
So
and it does like its own room correction thing.
Is the one that extends lower the solid line? Is that the SVS?
So the solid ones should be SVS speaker A. Speaker B should be the dashed ones. But like I'm saying, I always look at this directivity, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking at. So solid line SVS Ultra, looks like it's gonna be bright, right?
Yeah,
because it's mismatch here.
Had a tilted
versus the other one is more like if I look at the bass, boom, it kind of follows the same treble response. So this is with EQ.
Yeah.
And then you can check and see like what's the estimated in-room response for each one. Solid would be SVS. Looks pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Check out the site. Check out the site.
So, yeah, I think I would just say, like, without digging deep into it, I think I'd say the Klipsch would probably be my recommendation out of those two. And again, I think both of them sound pretty good, but the Klipsch to me was probably more overall neutral. And I think the directivity was better. So if you're using equalization to kind of shape your own sound profile, it would take better to that.
This is interesting. And I was chatting with Pierre about this earlier because he has an algorithm that kind of it optimizes this. I assume it does it automatically.
Yeah. That high frequency dip.
And the question I had for him was like, sometimes it seems like, okay, it optimizes for this in-room response, right? But the sacrifice here in this particular Ultra bookshelf is in order to get that response, you have to sacrifice the on-axis response.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, is that a good trade-off? You know, how does that sound?
I don't know that I don't think that it is. And the size of the room will also play a factor into that. I mean, the direct sound is the sound that you first hear, right? So that's your initial cue for overall tonality. But then
that's what I'm saying.
Right. And then the reflections still matter a lot. In the room, I tend to find that what I hear traces very well to the estimated in-room response. But if you have a larger room where you don't have as many reflections, then you definitely don't want to trade off for estimated in-room response if you have to trade off. But ideally, your speaker has good directivity, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And you get that with that clips. You don't really seem to get that with that particular SBS speaker.
So okay. So the estimated in-room response is more important if you have a room that's a little bit more reflective.
Yeah, that's in my experience. That's what I tend to find. Right, like that's just anecdotal.
And like overall, that's kind of the sound that you're just generally hearing.
Yeah.
Or is it like, oh, I hear the direct sound and that has a weird response, but like, how does that work? I don't
know that I've ever been able to sit there and tell you, oh, that's because the direct sound is this and the reflective sound is that. Normally, what I can tell in that regard is the soundstage and the imaging, right? Kind of like what I was saying, where some stuff wants to collapse and other stuff wants to broaden out, and you can hear that if you're listening to the right things, right?
Right. Well, so. Isn't it that a lot of the coaxial speakers are actually worse on axis? So it's all like by design.
Especially like the more budget friendly calves and stuff like that.
Yeah. So on axis is not as good as the off axis stuff.
Right.
So I guess
horn speakers are sometimes that way too. Like waveguide horn speakers are sometimes that way because they're so symmetrical that they have higher diffraction directly on axis. So it's better to tow them out by like 10 to 15 degrees. And it just depends.
Yeah. Well, next time you have a speaker that has, excellent directivity, but a weird on axis response, I really want to know.
Yeah.
How that sounds to you, like what's your impression?
Yeah. I bet you I've reviewed one of those. If I dug back through my site, my reviews, I could probably find an example, but
yeah,
that would take some time.
We've been at it for about an hour and a half. We should probably get going. Oh, okay. Apple may buy Massimo. Is that true? Is this where's the source? I need to hear the source.
I might buy Massimo and then use that money to buy Apple.
Apple may buy Massimo. Oh, are you talking about because of the lawsuit thing with their what was it? I think I don't know what aspect of it was. I think maybe the pulse oximeter or whatever. Reverend Slim says he doesn't see them buying it in the middle of a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I'm saying words that I don't understand.
Would be pulse win-win Apple settlement. That was from January though. Who knows? It's been 5 more months.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a lawsuit with Apple. That's money.
Decent movie. I saw Bad Boys.
Was it good?
Sunday. It was hilarious.
Oh my God.
Super entertaining. So that was cool. I saw it in a super private theater, which also added to the coolness factor.
But I want to see that movie called Bike Riders with Tom Hardy. It's coming out this Friday.
Bike Riders, right? Are they a bunch of BMXers like you?
No, dude, it's like a motorcycle game, but it looks good. It looks really good. I mean, anything with Tom Hardy is usually going to be pretty good.
Tom Hardy? Who's Tom Hardy?
He played Bane in Batman.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was born doctor.
Would you mention Game of Thrones earlier?
Terrible.
Oh yeah, Game of Thrones. The Dragon House of the Dragon just aired its first episode on Sunday as well. I'm in like what do you call it? I got to start DJing some weddings this summer, so tossed on the old new season of Bridgerton. Yeah, I get a bunch of violin covers to play at weddings. And then everybody's like, oh my God, they run up. This is from Bridgerton. Yes. Yes, it is. Thanks, lady.
Yeah. You watch any other movies? I only watched just randomly that Challengers or something.
Oh, like that.
The tennis.
One, huh? Yeah, she gets freaky in that one, huh?
I don't know about all that.
Bad movie or?
I don't know. It's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, like the Devil's Threesome.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that movie.
Chad, I never had the focal Bathies. What did they come up with these names, man? The Bathies?
Bathis.
Bathies. Maybe it's French. It's Bathies.
Hey, what's the next audio event show? Like, I know there's Audio Advice Live, and I think the same weekend is the Dayton Audio or the Parts Express Midwest
Florida?
Audio.
What about Florida?
Florida is in February, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So the next
Michael's thing, though.
Oh, yeah, Michael's thing.
What?
Michael's thing is this month.
Michael's, like the Hobby Lobby type store?
Yes.
Michael's.
Hobby Lobby. Michael's.
Oh.
Michael's. Joanne Fabric. Joanne. Joanne.
Are you TM? Are you team?
People have asked us if we're going to M-Wave. I'm not going to M-Wave.
Oh yeah, M-Wave.
But I know some of our folks in the after show are going. So
yeah, you know Croissant will go because he's right there.
Yeah, I want to see my dudes have a good time, and that's it. Yeah. You know, they're gonna represent for us.
Yeah.
So have a good time. Be careful of that Croissant guy, because he might get you very drunk.
He's dangerous.
Careful.
Yeah,
and he might try
that's why I'm not going. I can't hang out with him.
He might ask you to touch his wipeout.
Let's get out of here. I want to talk to the after show.
Hold on, Van Gool. Let's address this right now. Real quick. My YouTube channel got hacked on Tuesday last week after the show, and thanks to Joe and all the fellas, got it back Wednesday morning. However, Thursday morning I found out they got into my Facebook, and I'm, from what it sounds like, I'm permanently banned from Facebook, so I had to start a new Facebook. And that's that. So there you go.
He clicked on a file as Hot Dudes Now or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
something like that. Yeah, sent to me by somebody's audio corner. Yeah, Eric's audio corner.
Eric's audio corner. Or the Aaron with 2 A's.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right,
everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is the Daily HiFi Podcast. We do this every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. If you want to pick up some merch and support what we're doing here, go to shop.dailyhifi.com. And of course, if you want to join the crew and jump into the after show, go to crew.daily.hifi and join up. And if you don't want to watch me eat or watch Aaron do his shoulder shrug dance, I don't know.
Jimmy.
Hey, by the way, I should mention that our Patreon for Daily HiFi is still there. So if for whatever reason you prefer to use that, then go ahead and use it. We still post the after show link in there just for the people who are still in there. So if that's what you want to do, you can still look it up. Patreon.com/Daily HiFi. If for some reason you're just like, no, I'm not going to do the YouTube one, go for it. Yeah. Whatever works for you.
And if you like to, like I was saying, if you don't want to watch Aaron do his shimmy dance or me eat during the podcast, go to anchor.fm/Daily HiFi and listen to the audio only version. On behalf of myself, Joe, and Aaron, have a great one, and we will see you. Oh, you won't see me, but you'll see these guys over the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Bye.
See ya.